Solving equations with fractions and decimals is the same exact thing as solving them with whole numbers, and we'll use our calculator in order to calculate our answers. So I'm going to do an example that you can write. This is example 1. 2/3 n minus 6 equals 22. Okay, so I have 2/3 of n minus 6 equals 22. Now the first thing I want to do, I'm going to draw my line down my equals, and that shows both sides need to be balanced. And I need to I need to get rid of whatever's on the same side as the n. So I need to get rid of this minus 6. And the way I get rid of 6 negatives is I put 6 positives with it. That makes 0 pairs and they cancel out. But what I do to one side, I have to do to the other side. So I'm going to add 6 to the other side as well and draw my line. Now, the 6 and the negative 6 and the positive 6 made a 0 pair. So those got canceled out, but I still have 2/3 n over here. On my other side, I have 22 plus 6, which is 28. So 2/3 times something, times this n, will give me 28. And the way I find that is I do the opposite of multiplying. Right now, 2/3 is being multiplied by n. So I need to divide by 2/3 on both sides. Now that's going to be a tricky thing to put in our calculator, but what we're going to do is first we have 2/3 over 2/3. Those cancel out to one whole, so I have n. 28 divided by 2/3 in my calculator. I type that in as 28, and then I click the divided by sign. And I can do my alpha y equals to insert my fraction, and I can actually insert the fraction then as 2/3. The other way I can do it is I can do my 28 divided by, and then I can put the 2/3 in parentheses as 2/3 with a division sign. Either way I do it, my answer, either way, is going to be 42. So that's my answer. Same exact process, I just had to insert a fraction instead of a whole number into my calculator. Okay, let's do example number 2. Now here's my example number 2. This one's going to be a little bit different because as you can see, I have an x on both sides. And I need to get that down to just one side. I have x on both sides and then I just have a number on one. And the first thing that we do if we look at our foldable is we want to get rid of the lowest x, the lowest number being multiplied by x. And that would be this one. I'm going to get rid of 0.2. Right now, it's a positive 0.2, so I'm going to take away 0.2r, okay? And I need to do that to both sides. And the ones that have variables or that have letters can only be added or taken away from ones that have letters also. So 0.5r, that is a variable, so I can take it away from there. Okay? And I'm going to see what I have left. These made a 0 pair. Those canceled out. Those are gone. But now I have 0.75 equals 0.3r. If I subtract 0.5 minus 0.2, I get 0.3r. Okay, now my only step left is, here's the one with the variable, 0.3 teams. We need to divide it into 0.3 teams to cancel it out, okay? And what I do to one side, I have to do to the other side. So when I do 0.75 divided by 0.3, I get 2.5. And over here, 0.3 over 0.3, that made a 1, canceled out, but I'm still left with my r. So 2.5 equals r. Okay, now I saved the hardest one for last. This is our third example. It's our last one. This one's definitely the hardest. 7/10 n plus 3/2, 3/2, equals 3/5 n plus 2. That looks really hard, but with our calculator, it really isn't too bad. So the first thing I'm going to do is put my line down my equal sign. Okay, and I want to get rid of the smaller the smaller variable in front of an n. So I'm going to see which one's smaller. Let's see, 7/10, that's 0.7. 3/5, if I put that in my calculator, that's 0.6. So this one, it looks like this one's smaller. So I'm going to get rid of the 3/5 n. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to subtract 3/5 n. I want to get rid of the whole thing. So notice I subtract 3/5 n, not just 3/5. Okay? When I subtract it from that side, I have to do the same thing to the other side. But I can only take away letters from letters. So I'm not going to take it away from this one. That does not have a variable. I'm going to take it away from 7/10. And I'm going to draw a line to see what I have left. Positive 3/5 n and negative 3/5 n made a 0 pair. And when I subtracted 3/5 from 7/10 in my calculator, I inserted my fraction, alpha y equals, I did 7/10 minus 3/5, and it gave me 0.1 n. And I still have my 3/2, and over here I'm just left with 2. Now I want to get this one by itself, the one with my variable right here, so I'm going to take away what's in its way, 3/2. In order to get rid of a positive 3/2, I need to take away 3/2. Remember, I need to do that to both sides. I just made more room for myself, so I took away 3/2 from both sides. And I'm going to see what I have left. These made a 0 pair. They canceled out, but I still have 0.1 n on this side. 2 minus 3/2, that's like saying 2 minus 1 1/2. If I put that in my calculator, I get 0.5. Now, I'm trying to make 0.1 teams. I need to divide this by 0.1 so that I can cancel those out and get my n, which means I need to divide this side by 0.1. And when I do 0.5 divided by 0.1, in my calculator I get 5, and over here I have n equals 5.